defeats the kings of the east and helps the Lord. Abram defeats the kings of the east and helps the Lord. It happened in the days of Amram, king of Shinar, Ariel, king of Elasar, Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of Goyim, that they made war with Bera, king of Sodom, and with Birsa, king of Gomorrah, Sinab, king of Admah, and Semeber, king of Jeboim, and the king of Bela. The same is Joar, all this joined together, and the fellow of Sidon, the same is the South Sea. 12 years they served Chedorlaomer, and in the 13th year they rebelled. In the 14th year Chedorlaomer came, and the kings who were with him, and struck the Rephaim in Ashtaroth, Karnaim, and the Juzim in Ham, and the Emim in Sefer Kiriatem, and the Horites in the Mount Seir, to El Paran, which is by the wilderness. They returned and came to En-Mishpat, the same is Kadesh, and struck all the country of the Amalekites, and also the Amorites that live in Hazazon Tamar, the king of Sodom, and the king of Gomorrah, and the king of Admah, and the king of Jeboim, and the king of Bela, the same is Joar, went out, and they set the battle in array against them in the vale of Siddim, against Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of Goyim, and Amraphel, king of Shinar, and Ariel, king of Elasar, 4 kings against the 5. Now the vale of Siddim was full of tar pits, and the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled, and they fell there, and those who remained fled to the hills. They took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah and all their food, and went their way. They took Lot, Abram's brother's son, who lived in Sodom, and his goods, and departed. One who had escaped came and told Abram the Hebrew. Now he lived by the oaks of Mamre, the Amorite, brother of Eshcol and brother of Aner, and these were allies of Abram. When Abram heard that his relative was taken captive, he led for his training men born in his house 318 and pushed as far as Dan. He divided himself against them by night, he and his servants, and struck them and forced them to Hobah, which is on the left hand of Damascus. He brought back all the goods, and also brought back his relative Lot and his goods, and the woman also, and the people. The king of Sodom went out to meet him after his return from the slaughter of Chedorlaomer, and the kings who were with him at the fellow of Save, that is the king's fellow. Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought out bread and wine, and he was praised of God Most High. He blessed him and said, "Bless Abram, blessed be Abram of God Most High, possessor of heaven and earth. And blessed be God Most High, who has delivered your enemies into your hand." Abram gave him a tenth of all. The king of Sodom said to Abram, "Give me the people and take the goods to yourself." Abram said to the king of Sodom, "I have lifted up my hand to Yahweh, God Most High, possessor of heaven and earth, that I will not take a thread nor a sandal strap, nor anything that is yours, lest you should say, I have made Abram rich. I will accept nothing from you except the which the young men have eaten, and the portion of the men who went with me, Aner, Eshcol, and Mamre. Let them take their portion." Abram defeats the kings of the east and helps the Lord. God covenant with Abram promises about his descendants. God covenant with Abram promises of his descendants. After these things, the word of Yahweh came to Abram in a vision, saying, "Don't be afraid, Abram. I am your side, your exceedingly great reward." Abram said, "Lord Yahweh, what will you give me, since I go childless? And who will inherit my estate is Eliezer of Damascus?" Abram said, "Behold, to me you have given no seed, and behold, one born in my house in my heir." Behold, the word of Yahweh came to him, saying, "This man will not be your heir, but he will come for out of your own body will be your heir." Yahweh brought him outside and said, "Look now toward the sky and count the stars, if you are able to count them." He said to Abram, "So shall your seed be." He believed in Yahweh, and he reckoned it to him for righteousness. He said to him, "I am Yahweh who brought you out of the Chaldees, out of the Chaldees, to give you this land to inherit it." He said, "Lord Yahweh, how will I know that I will inherit it?" He said to him, "Bring me a heifer 3 years old, a female goat 3 years old, a ram 3 years old, a third laid up, and a young pigeon." He brought him all of these and divided them in the middle and let each help opposite the other, but they didn't divide the birds. The birds of prey came down on the carcasses, and Abram drove them away. When the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell on Abram. Now terror and great darkness fell on him. He said to Abram, "Now for sure that your seed will live as foreigners in a land that is not theirs, and will serve them. They will afflict them for 100 years. I will also judge that nation, whom they will serve. Afterward, they will come out with great help. Afterward, they will come out with great wealth. But you will go to your fathers in peace. But you will go to your fathers in peace. You will be buried in a good old age. In the fourth generation, they will come here again, for the iniquity of the Amorite is not yet full." It came to pass that, when the sun went down and it was dark, behold, a smoking furnace and a flaming torch passed between these pieces. In that day Yahweh made a covenant with Abram, saying, "To your seed I have given this land, from the river of Egypt to the great river, the river Euphrates, the Canaanites, the Kenizzites, the Cadmonites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Rephaim, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Girgashites, and the Jebusites." God covenant with the Abram promises about his descendants. God covenant with the Abram promises about his descendants.